It's a response video to that dumbass Ron Paul nut. Alright, taking these points one at a time on the general subject of capitalism, really, and the regulation of the internet. Regulation, quote unquote. Alright, so his first contention, his first question to me was, why would I, that it was dumb and stupid, so stupid, to complain about YouTube on YouTube. That somehow using YouTube is a concession to something. Yeah, it's a concession to the practical fact that if you're going to speak, if you're going to put up your soapbox, you don't go like into the middle of the wilderness and put your soapbox up. No, you put your soapbox up where the people are, moron. It wouldn't make any sense to do it any other way. You stupid fuck. And then the second point, I'm not talking about regulating the internet. I'm talking in any kind of controlling the internet sense. I'm talking about regulating in terms of liberating it, in a sense. Applying constitutional principle. I don't think that would be a horrible thing to apply, to force companies to comply with First Amendment rights and rights against discrimination and such. Okay? Due process. Equal protection of the law, all those kind of things. No, I don't think that would be an offense to force corporations to act within the limits of the United States fucking Constitution when they are essentially duplicating the functionality of the public square, of what was a public possession. You stupid fuck. Alright, then technology, made some point that the technology, no, it's not about the technology, asshole. The internet isn't about the technology. The internet is about the organization of the technology. The internet is the search of the internet. Without the index, the internet is nothing. A public library is meaningless if they take 10,000 books and throw them in a pile somewhere. Now, what the fuck good is it? It has no practical value. Who wants to go to a public library where the books are just a fucking chaos pile of 100,000 books, let's say, just sitting in a pile, 100,000 books, just mixed up any old way? What good is it? Alright, it has almost no value. Alright, the whole value of this technology is the fucking organization of the technology. And that's where that's where this gets really dangerous. Where this fucking goddamn Google and Yahoo and Microsoft, they all fucking are owning all these fucking properties that have to do with our fucking free speech rights. Where our books end up on the shelves. They're running the fucking library, you asshole. They're controlling the card catalog of the library. Well, yeah, they own us. And you haven't said anything that changes that fact. They can just take everything. They can take these videos off. They can discriminate. They can apply inconsistent and standards. There's nothing to stop them. Okay, there is no law to protect the people on this fucking internet. This portion of the internet. You said, yeah, if you don't like it, don't use it. Ignore them. Well, you did. That's ignoring the whole point here. That's like saying, well, if you don't like having rocks thrown at you in the public square, don't go to the public square. No, I have a right to go to the public square, put up my fucking soapbox with everybody else's soapbox, and exercise my freedom. No, my right isn't to go away. My right isn't to be driven off. That's bullshit. No. So that's the difference. This is our right. This is our property. This video is my expression. Alright, well then you made the point that I could pay hosting fees. I do pay hosting fees. I have websites online. But we're right back to the fucking point. It's about the community. It's about the indexing. It's about the organization of the content. Being on the internet means nothing if you are invisible. I've had websites that were on the fucking internet for 15 years, I mean, from the DOS days, okay? And if they didn't get indexed, they were fucking invisible. That's the practical fact, alright? And I've had cases where, Google deliberately kept websites out of their fucking index because they were, negative to the corporate image, negative to their advantage. And so websites that deserved maybe indexing in the top 40 or top 20 of websites would end up, listed, 600, page 27. All right, and that's the games they can play. It is just completely idiotic to give Google, to give these companies marketing companies control over indexing. It is the same thing. The parallel would be just like putting Barnes & Noble in charge of the library card catalog. It would be idiotic. Because they would promote their own properties. They would promote what was to their advantage. They would create systems and mechanisms to capitalize on the system and make more profit for themselves. Okay, the objective wouldn't be to create the most efficient system of indexing. The objective would be to glean the most profit. All right, and then your commentary on Google ads. Now, you apparently don't understand how Google ads work. Okay, Google has ads on the right-hand column. Okay, those are sponsored links. Okay, companies have to pay to get those links put on there, and some of those can go up to dollars a click. Then there are those same kind of links ends up on regular people's websites, as Google initiates a profit sharing program where they will pay people a percentage of the click price if the link is clicked on their web page. So then you create the incentive for people to create a lot of false content or steal content from other people, create false web pages just so they can have people click the ads on those pages and get revenue. So it's just a racket, a scheme. It encourages the creation of spam, of crap, of garbage. And it also just monetizes, puts this Google ads on every web page on the internet. It's a step going all the way back to the progeny days of the original internet, where you were stuck with this huge giant banner across the screen, this ad banner. It's basically the same thing. Google's put its ad banner on every fucking page in the internet, so it's basically on every fucking page, and now it's in different places, so it screws up the flow of the pages. You end up with these fucking links in the middle of the goddamn thing. You end up having to scroll to find out the page is useless. I mean, it's just bullshit. If any other company had done it, people would have been outraged. And the whole idea too, remember, the other half of that equation is there's these 50,000 companies out there who are doing nothing else but trying to engineer visibility in the search engines. It's this pointless, useless competition, this climbing up top of the heap kind of bullshit, trying to outmaneuver each other, trying to out-trick each other. I mean, it's all about tricks. To get your fucking website in that top 10, and then to get it in that, the top 5, and then to get in the top 3, and it has nothing to do with the merit or the quality of the content. It just has to do with playing the fucking system, playing a stupid mathematical dumbass algorithm that decides what goes where. And so they fool it all the time, because all it is a piece of software. A piece of software can't recognize the difference between 100,000 bullshit pages that were just created to create artificial links and real websites.
So you made the argument that I should use alternatives. There's a million other search engines. Well, first of all, there's not a million other search engines. There's a lot of ratty little directories, a lot of things that aren't maintained, no financing. All right, the big networks, Microsoft, AOL, Yahoo, Google, that's about it. There were alternatives that were better than Google, and they didn't win the war simply because the war was a marketing war, and it was a war about money. Google had financing from, surprisingly, companies like Microsoft and Yahoo, and Stanford University, and other, comparable and equally good search engines didn't have that backing, so they just couldn't be as efficient and as fast as Google was. And it's always been about speed with Google anyway. It was never about the quality of the results. Google was just clean. It had no ads on it, and that's the big lie. Google was given to us for free for 3 years, and a fast, efficient search engine, no ads. It was just a lie, okay? And then it just became this, we just got, bang, right back to the same bullshit. Well, it's not the same, because the ads aren't as egregious as the others, but they're more egregious in the sense they are on other people's websites, which is a bigger obscenity than having all the noise and nonsense on the fucking page itself. So while Google's pages are still clean, the rest of the internet is not clean. They dirtied it all up. So that's where the dirt is now. Just can't, there's no getting around the fact that this is an industry that's just you're not going to use the alternative to the card catalog at the library. You're going to go where the websites are. You're going to go where the eyeballs are. You're going to try to get in the index where everybody's looking. And so it just tends to create a monopoly, just based on how the fucking system functions. It was always that way. I mean, there was always Yahoo was the big player, and then it was always one dominant player. All right, then you end with this general argument that somehow consumers aren't paying for all the marketing and all the crap that goes on with the commercialized internet. Of course, the consumers are paying. They're the only people that can be paying, and it doesn't create any efficiency in the business. It's just silly nonsense.
It's straight line. Make an argument that points out how a straight line between production and consumption is not the most efficient way to get from point A to point fucking B. All right, you're not going to be able to make that argument that some sort of marketing bullshit somehow makes it more efficient. That spending more money on, giving Michael Jordan some money benefits the consumer in any fucking way. It's impossible for that to benefit the consumer. It doesn't benefit the consumer to have a company spend $500,000 designing its can. How? That doesn't, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with any of it. It's bullshit. Marketing is fucking bullshit. It is a tax. It is nonsense. It is a crap. It does not make a company more efficient. Does not make it better. It just helps it compete in this game against its competitor. And the game isn't to be best. The game is to shyster or manipulate the most customers, to pull the most money out of their fucking pockets.